can say. The Phoenix Suns got a shot to win the title, right? You heard me rave about the Warriors, right? We know that Milwaukee is the reigning defending champions. Miami has upgraded its roster. No matter where you go, Chicago, surprising, second best record in the Eastern Conference. We're looking at all of these teams. What's the one move that paralyzes everybody, that makes us all stop and say, wait a minute, we might need to rethink this championship picture? That is Kyrie Irving returning to Brooklyn, joining James Harden and Kevin Durant. That's the one move.
How long has he got? He ain't got to the break.
A month.
Okay.
A month.
Meaning it has to happen in the next month?
I'm saying that because if he comes back too late, I don't know if that'll work.
And we're acknowledging the greatness of Kyrie Irving, who's been a champion, who's a top 15 player, but their offense just isn't the same, Greeny, without him. They're 13th in efficiency. Last year, they were first. That's a big drop-off. And James Harden, 40% from the floor, lowest in his career. 5 turnovers, the most in the league. He's not playing like a top 75 player that's in his prime.
Well, I want to make clear that you agree with him. If you put Kyrie Irving on this team, they become the favorite to win.
It's all right to say you agree with me.
I do.
All right to
I
say.
agree with Stephen A. Yes,
Here we go. Say it with your
Kyrie
chest.
Irving
Say it with your chest.
returns, even though I mentioned what I mentioned about Harden, he now is the difference maker.
So we got 2 major storylines that we're covering here. One of them is the possibility of a deal involving Ben Simmons, and the other is Kyrie. But you're telling us, Michael Wilbon, that there is a deadline on this.
I just think that, first of all, there can be resentment that isn't expressed.
Right.
But when you're in the locker room, the one thing we have all learned about being in locker rooms is people feel a certain kind of way at some point in the season. If you're Kevin Durant, I don't know how Kevin feels right now, but he's out there carrying his team. I mean, how long are you going to want to carry it when you got a guy that you came to tag team with?
That's right.
And he's going to just cavalierly say, I'm not there?
Has it gotten bad? I mean, are we getting to that point now?
We're going to get to that point. We're not there yet because Kevin Durant loves Kyrie Irving. All right? And James Harden's got one foot out the door if things don't work out. We all know Kyrie's a bit touched. He's touched, but he's great. He's phenomenal. And if he comes back, look out.
Will we see him on the court this year for the Nets?
I don't believe so. When you say resentment expressed, if he doesn't come back, those relationships change.
Oh, yes.
And I'm going to tell you the day they change. Just like last year when they lost because he was injured.
What's your reaction to Kyrie's message?
Well, I think it's all over the place. But I want to make sure I take the position and producers, leave Kendrick Perkins and Jay Williams up on the screen because I want to see them when I'm talking to them and I'm talking to America here. You know, Jay and I, first of all, Jay and I are fine for those fools out there that think we got a problem. They don't realize we brothers. They don't understand. You understand?
Always.
So we can have disagreement, but we good. Here's the thing that people are not getting, and I want to make sure that I'm clear about. I am no anti-vaxxer. I have been vaccinated. Jay's been vaccinated. I think Kendrick Perkins, I know you have. And we all believe you should get vaccinated. But I am no anti-vaxxer. Let me be very, very clear about that. I have an issue with Kyrie Irving. And by the way, as I tried to say yesterday, but I'll say today, it ain't about the vaccine. It's about what I label to be his selfishness when it comes to being a teammate of Kevin Durant, James Harden, and the rest of the crew with the Brooklyn Nets. That is the issue for me. If you don't want to take the vaccine, that's your choice. You are absolutely right. It's a personal choice, and it's other people's choice to react whatever way they want to. I choose to focus on a couple of things here. Kyrie Irving has been in this league for damn near 10 years, if I remember correctly, about 10 years now. He's played over 70 games 3 times. This is the same Kyrie Irving that got hurt before the global pandemic became official, essentially, and before the season was brought to a halt. When the season was scheduled to resume in a bubble, he was a vice president in a players association who had encouraged people not to participate in play in Orlando in the bubble. But he did so on his own without talking to CP3 and them and letting them know what his position was going to be publicly. They had to find out like the rest of us. He didn't play then. Then he's gone, so you take into account he got hurt and had only played 20 games. He got hurt, season gets halted. What does he do? He comes back 10 months later, 10 months after the season was resumed in December. Another season, started in December. And 2 weeks in, 7 games into the season, Kyrie Irving needs a break, disappears for personal reasons, initially didn't tell the coach or anybody else, okay? Knew he was supposed to come back, got caught partying with his sister. You understand what I'm saying? And at a party, all right, where you were exposed to all of that contact tracing and stuff like that, where KD even had to be pulled from some games because accidentally or whatever, they found that he could have potentially been exposed. So you had all of these things going on. My point is transition that to where we are now. And where we are now is yet another reason why Kyrie Irving isn't playing basketball. KD is in Brooklyn because of you. James Harden, to a lesser degree, is in Brooklyn because of you. You helped bring these brothers together. And that's where I'm coming from. It is my belief. I'm not trying to say forget the vaccine because I understand that's a part of this discussion. Again, but what I'm focusing on and what I want people to know that I'm focusing on about Kyrie Irving is I believe you helped assemble all of this and you've left these dudes hanging yet again. Now, we can sit up there and say this has nothing to do with everything else that's going on in this past. Fair enough. But the one consistent common denominator that is inescapable is A, Kyrie Irving is a distraction. B, it usually involves him missing time on the job, which he signed up to do, which he encouraged other people to do, which he's getting $35 million a year to play. These are all the things that I'm pointing to. And that's where I want to go from there before we even get into what he said last night. Floor is y'all's.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing, right? We all have our rights and everybody have the freedom to do whatever they want with their body. But Stephen A., you made one word stand out to me just now. Clear. Clear. And you have certain people that go on here and say, you know what? Kyrie Irving is a version of Colin Kaepernick. No, the hell he's not. Because Colin Kaepernick made it very, very clear where he stands, okay, or where he stood for us with the NFL. I don't know where Kyrie Irving stands. He's all over the place, as you would say. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm watching the IG Live. I'm watching some of the former brotherhood, NBA brotherhoods, and they saying, go Kyrie. Oh, yeah, you're doing the right thing. I stand with Kyrie. But guess what? It's another brother that's in the NBA, that's in Minnesota, that lost 6 family members, including his mama, God rest her soul, by the name of Karl Anthony Towns. And he made it very, very clear to everybody where he stood with this vaccination. And he told people, go get vaccinated. You want to know something? When I saw what Karl Anthony Towns went through, that's what made me choose a side. And my thing is with Kyrie Irving, yes, it is your body. But tell me, what are you standing for? Make it clear to me. Because watching the IG Live yesterday, it wasn't clear. And it's not clear to this day. It's still not clear today as we wake up. It's murky. As Molly just said, it's murky. So I'm not telling the man what to do. I'm saying, give us some clarification. And by the way, the media, right? The media, oh man, y'all always want to point me out. You're a superstar, Kyrie. When you sign up to go to the NBA, you sign up for the media. Media comes with it. We applaud you when you stand on the front line and you do things in the community. Of course, if you don't get vaccinated, it's going to be a story and we're going to talk about it. Hello, you are in the NBA. This is part of it. So just me personally, look, Kyrie can do whatever the hell he wants with his body.
Is Steph the player that's going to have the biggest impact on this NBA season?
I think so. And here's why I think so. Because look at the team. And Stephen A., I know you've already said Golden State is probably going to win the championship and for sure going to the thing. And I don't know if you said that prior to seeing them play or not. But I think looking at this team now, and I know a lot of people said, oh, the young guys, they aren't battle tested. I understand that. But they've been around long enough to understand how things work in the Golden State organization. And what Steph Curry is doing right now is unbelievable because all of the attention still goes towards Steph Curry and stopping him. Now, 2015, when he had Durant, when he had Clay playing where they were playing, yes, you understood why open shots were there. Now, it's not the same. You see all the attention. There's a double team there. 3, not a problem. He is playing basketball at a very high level with all the attention on him and to stop him. And they are whatever in 4 right now. 4 losses with that team right now, it says a lot. He definitely has the bigger impact.
Interesting that you say that. I don't knock you for it, my brother. Good call. Put Vince Carter up on the screen, please, because I want to see him when I say what I'm about to say. Vince Carter, it makes a lot of sense because I believe the Golden State Warriors going to win the chip. All right, I watched them first week. I said, what the hell was I thinking? This kid, Jordan Poole, and the way he's playing Toscano Anderson, Gary Payton II. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And I'm imagining Klay Thompson coming back along with Wiseman coming back. And I'm saying this brother's won the title with Jaja.
Even Andrew
Jr.
Wiggins.
That's right. Oh, yeah, I don't know why I keep I should have forget it.
Like
he's had a good
balling.
year. He's had a good year. He's balling. Once upon a time, I wouldn't have gave him away for a bag of cookies because I thought he was entirely too passive. That's not the case anymore. Andrew Wiggins has stepped up. I really respect what I'm seeing from that brother this year. He's doing a damn good job. Can't forget him, okay? But there's something that you didn't think about, and I'm here to remind you.
Remind me.
Who's the number 1 team in the East? That would happen to be the Brooklyn Nets at 17-8, right? That would happen to be the Brooklyn Nets, right? That's without Kyrie. What if he comes back? That would be the biggest impact on the NBA this season. Because if Kyrie
it's a question mark.
I understand that. Well, it's all a question mark. It's all a question mark. I mean, because we're looking at guys that are playing, but we understand, again, I'm just talking about impact. I'm just talking about what can shift everything. We can talk about Milwaukee. We can talk about Miami. One week we raving about the Nets, and then they go against a team above 500, and we're like, who the hell is this team? We rave about Chicago and Zach LaVine and the fact that he's emerging as a star in this league, and then they get bounced last night. All right, once upon a time, I stupidly talk about we here in New York City, and I forgot that Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett refused to use their right hand, one-arm bandits. I just forgot about all of that stuff, okay? I'm looking at Miami, Jimmy Butler and these brothers, they might be ready. I'm looking in the West. I'm saying Kawhi Leonard could come back. I could easily use this name. LeBron could stir the Lakers in the right direction. I could easily use that name. I'll roll with you on Steph because I just think, and CP3, we can't forget him and what he brings to the table. Yep. But I'm going to roll with you on Steph. The one thing that can change everything, and I mean everything, definitively, if Kyrie Irving comes back this season, all of a sudden, Milwaukee don't look as formidable. Miami don't look as formidable, all right? Philadelphia is irrelevant. Atlanta ain't nobody thinking about them. Yeah, you got to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. You got Vince Carter living in the ATL. You got stuff like that going on, but it ain't going to help them, okay? Out West, you looking at everybody else. If Kyrie comes back and Kyrie, James Harden, and KD join forces for a significant chunk of time, that's the one thing that could have us all saying, we need to pause and rethink everything we've been saying about everybody else.
So you're saying when he comes back, it will be business as usual. Things will go back to normal. Because, I feel like they're going to need some time.
Sure.
Adding Kyrie back and,
No, this is all I mean, Vince.
Feelings.
This is all I mean, Vince. If Vince sat up here and said, Warriors like Stephen A., if Vince sat up here and said, Warriors going to win the chip. If somebody else said, if Will Bond and Jalen Rose like, Phoenix gonna win it. If somebody said Milwaukee or Miami, no matter what argument we make anywhere, the one move that could force us all to say, hold on, let's see. Let's wait a minute. Is Kyrie returning to the Brooklyn Nets? Head case and all. Walking around like he Moses, spreading sage all over the arenas. You got his cane like he's the prophet and all of this other stuff. All of that, throw all of it aside. We know this brother's a superstar. And Kyrie Irving steps on the court with KD and Harden. We have to pause every single argument that's out there in the NBA right now. There isn't one single argument that won't force us to pause if Kyrie Irving comes back to the Nets.
Now, in your opinion, do they become hands-down favorites if we're talking about Nets, Warriors in the finals.
No, they become hands down favorite in the East. In the East, yes.
Okay. Because when Clay comes back, Wiseman comes back. I feel like Wiseman is huge.
I still believe in the Warriors. But I'm telling you, Kyrie is
makes a difference.
Kyrie is the one move. His arrival back to Brooklyn this season is the one move that no matter who you pick, we all got to pull.
I thought you would have went Clay.
We all got to. No, I already got the Warriors as favorites. I already got the Warriors as favorites.
Here's
he's
my only
definitely
pushback.
coming back.
Yeah, here's my only pushback, or let me say, not pushback, thought, is that I feel like when he comes back and he arrives with this team, they still need him to be right and in the right mind. Because if you're playing against a very good Golden State team that adds Klay Thompson and Wiseman, and everybody's playing like they're supposed to play or should play, what we've seen, he's going to have to be right. It's not just, come back.